What's up everybody? So in today's video we're starting off at Advanced Auto buying the cheapest repair for the GT-R, which is actually kind of an unfortunate thing, which means it can only go up from here. So today it's going to be kind of a temporary repair, if you even call it a repair or not. But anyway, we're heading to the house, working on the GT-R. So you might be thinking, what are we repairing today? Honestly, I feel like a broken record talking about these squeaky brakes in the car, but I bought some brake grease that goes in between the brake pad backing and the actual piston that contacts it. That should do a pretty good job actually eliminating a lot of the squealing that I'm hearing. Once we get into the neighborhood, I'll show you a little bit more of how bad the brakes are. It just sounds horrible when you daily drive it. It's just really annoying, and as much as I really love the car, everything about this, that is the one thing that just drives me crazy. So we're gonna hopefully fix that. It is a temporary fix, it's not gonna be permanent, but if it lasts a few months before I have to reapply it, that's not too bad, so definitely worth it. It was $6.93, so inexpensive and worthwhile. So we got the GT-R up on jack stands, the wheels are off. I'm trying to think how many times I have filmed taking wheels on and off with the Z and the GT-R. Probably close to 10 times. So here we go. This is the disc brake quiet stuff. This is basically just a grease that'll go in between the actual brake pad and then the piston that touches the brake pad. So hopefully it eliminates all the noises that the brakes are making. And then before we start the video, we have new merchandise available. There is a link down in the description below, as well as an ad below this video. T-shirts, hoodies for men and women, and we have kid sizes available too. We've had quite a few sold already, so we really appreciate the support on that. So back to the GT-R now. Let's start working on it. First things up, turn the wheel. We gotta push out these pins, get these springs out, take these two bolts out, and then we can remove the pads and then start working on it. So that is everything out, really easy to do. We have your two pins, the two retainer springs, and then the two bolts. Very simple, you just push them out and then unbolt the bolts. So now I don't have any special tool to actually get the pads out. All I'm gonna do is kind of pinch it and push the pistons in. That'll give me a lot of wiggle room in here, and that way I can then slide both pads right out. So now with the brake pads out, basically what we're gonna do is clean the backside of them, and then you can see those circles there. That is where the actual piston comes into contact with the backing of the brake pad. We're gonna clean this up, and then that is where we apply this grease. Because as of right now, we're having metal on metal contact between the two, so any little vibrations or anything within the brake pads and the discs and just the overall pressure of everything, that's what causes the squealing noises. And the grease is gonna provide just a little bit of a barrier to help limit that and dampen it. So with all the brake pads off the car now, here are the left side and then here's the right side. Honestly, it's so surprising how easy doing brakes is. This is such an easy job to do. It literally takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes to get everything out. And then looking at the actual brake pad, there is an arrow on this one right here showing you where down is. So these two, they go just like that, facing down like that. So we're gonna keep them together like that. Obviously keep these two together and then just clean them up a little bit on the surfaces and then use some brake cleaner, clean up the backs and then apply some grease to them and then reinstall. So to now get started and actually show you how to do this, we'll take each brake pad and just flip them upside down so you can see the metal backing of them now. And then we're just gonna take the brake cleaner, spray it a little bit, and then really wipe off the back just to make sure we get the metal completely exposed. And actually now with a lot of the brake dust off, you can see the arrow now on this side. You couldn't see it earlier like you can on this one. So at least do a few passes just to really clean it up, kind of get the edge. And I'm not spraying too much to where it's gonna go down and get all over the brake pad because you don't want that. But that should be about clean enough on that side. And to now apply the grease, on this bottle it does tell you to apply it liberally. Other things I've read said apply it kind of conservatively. So we're just gonna do kind of a thin layer. It might look like there's a lot going on it, but it's kind of a smooth, just thin layer all along the back of it. The main goal is to have it cover where the pistons are actually gonna touch it. So it's still a pretty thin layer. And then with this, you don't want to get it on the front side, of course. You don't want this on the brake pad either. But that should be about good enough for this side. And it says to like somewhat let it dry a little bit. So we'll do the other side real quick. So with the brake pads all greased up now, we're just gonna take them and then reinstall them into the car. Just kind of slowly wiggle them in there. You don't want to like scrape against the piston to where all the grease comes right off, but it should do a pretty good job just sliding back in. And then take the other side. It would help if you do it with the brake pad towards the brake rotor. And just like that, it is installed. Really easy to do this. And then we're just going to take the bolt portions, pop these things back into place. And then the pins go back into place. That is complete. Very, very easy to do that. You can see everything is back into place nicely. I'll do one last tighten on these bolts just to make sure everything is good. And then on the front, you can see a little bit of the pink showing through. I'm sure as some brake dust gets on that, that'll go away. Next up, I'll just clean up the calipers a little bit, pop the wheels back on, and then we can drive the car around to see if we notice any difference. And then I will give updates in future videos to see how long this actually lasts and to see if it actually works. All right, nice and clean front and rear brake calipers. And keep in mind, I'm not doing any of this grease or anything to the rear brakes because only the front ones are making noise. If for some reason I start hearing the rears, of course I can do this. But front end cleaned up, ready to go. Let's pop on the wheels. So wheels are back on the car, everything is nice and tight. Very simple project. Without filming, this is maybe like a 30-minute job. Super simple to do, obviously, but everything is good to go on the car. Now it's time to obviously see if this actually worked. We'll drive the car around, get similar clips inside the car to see if they're squealing, and then in the description below, I will let you guys know how long this lasts, if in a week from now or by the time this video actually goes live. If the car is back to squealing like crazy, I will have that in the description below. But anyways, let's now hit the road and see if this super cheap fix fixed the GT-R. And then back in the car, I just had to pump the brakes a little bit to get them back working. Start it up. There we go, everything is back to normal. So heading out now, let's see if the car doesn't squeak anymore. First obstacle is getting back out of the driveway. Last time I was here, I heard a scrape. Alright, we're good. Alright guys, so let's drive around. We'll get up to some speed and then slow down again to see if we'll have the same squeaking that we heard in the beginning of the video. So we'll get up to about 30 miles an hour and I'll slow down right about now. And yeah, I hear it. Well, that's not going the way I was expecting. Although I did clean the brake pads, so maybe they might need to resurface or something like that. Alright, so a little bit more driving with the car. It is pretty much a fail. The product that you saw, yeah, that's what we're left with. So unfortunately, that did not work at all. I thought it would. I had a lot of comments of people saying that is a good way to eliminate squeaking and stuff, but that is simply not the case, at least for the GT-R. So it may or may not work for your car, I'm not quite sure, but I was hoping that could be a good cheap fix for the car, at least temporarily, to get the brakes just a little bit more bearable. But they're just going to be squeaky until I ever get new ones, but they have a ton of life left in them, so there's no point to spend the money on new ones. So it is what it is. But anyway, that about sums up today's video. Turned into a fail, unfortunately, but is what it is. So I hope you guys at least enjoyed the video. Tomorrow I'm heading to Nissan, actually getting an alignment done on the car because it drives a little crooked. As you guys saw in a previous video, the alignment is pretty out of whack. So that's going on tomorrow, and they're also going to be checking out the car just to do a once-over. That's loud. And then we'll be doing a once-over on the car just to make sure the drivetrain, transmission, everything is good to go, because the car is still under manufacturer's warranty, so I want to make sure everything is perfect before I start tuning the car and adding power and doing that kind of stuff with the car. So anyway, that wraps up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a huge thumbs up, smash the subscribe button. See you guys next video.